very good evening and welcome to Prime TV News. I'm Ishara Nautuna. Let's get started with the headlines for the day first. The president inks papers to execute sentenced drug dealers. The army chief affirms that intelligence services are in full swing. People's Bank will not be privatized. Trump says he was ready for Iran. And now for your news in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena has stated that he has inked the papers to execute 4 drug offenders who have been sentenced to death.
The president made this comment at the meeting with heads of media organizations that was held at the president's house. While elaborating on the current political situation, the president stated that the political leadership of the country before or after the presidential election should scrap the 19th Amendment to the Constitution for the betterment of the country. He pointed out that due to the discrepancies in the 19th Amendment, no fruitful results has been generated due to the legislation. He pointed out that political instability in the country would be created due to the conflict between the state leader who has been appointed by the people's franchise and another leader who would secure power through the parliament. President Sirisena noted that based on the decision of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, he will consider to vie for the upcoming presidential election. He also denounced media reports on his foreign tours. The president emphasized that all the foreign tours he undertook were official invitations from foreign countries. The president said that he did not accompany big entourages in the foreign tours and was able to reap a great deal of benefits to the motherland. He also slammed the SOFA and VFA agreements to be signed with the US.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Mahesh Sinanayake says country's intelligence services are in full swing. The Army Commander made the comment while testifying before the Parliamentary Select Committee on Easter Sunday terror attack. He noted that the intelligence units are stronger and they would not be shattered by smaller-scale incidents. He further said that former Minister Rishad Badiuddin telephoned him to know about a person who had been arrested. The Army Chief highlighted that the former minister did not intervene into his duties. He observed that any suspect who would be arrested under the existing law regarding terrorism charges should be handed over to the police, with such suspects can be detained for 18 months. The Army Commander said that hence he asked the former minister to telephone him after 18 months. Issuing a statement today, Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira says that the recent news report in the media that the People's Bank is to be privatized is completely false and misleading. It is understood that this baseless allegation is made following the proposal made by the Ministry of Finance to amend the People's Bank Act No. 29 of 1961, enabling the bank to increase the authorized capital and the debentures to strengthen the financial stability and effectiveness of its operations. The minister says once this amendment is passed in Parliament, the employees and depositors can get these securities and there is no intention to issue equity securities to outsiders. He added that the budget speech made by him as the Minister of Finance in Parliament had proposed on the needs to develop capital markets beyond bank financing. President Maithripala Sirisena stresses that the war on drugs will never be stopped in the face of any threat or challenge. The president was speaking at a drug prevention program that was held at the Kolonava Rajamahaviharya. The president also stressed that he will be committed to protect the country and the future generation from drug menace. The government has declared a National Drug Prevention Week from the 23rd of this month to the 1st of next month. An awareness program was held at the Kolonava Rajamahaviharya and a walk was organised covering Rajagiriya, Mulleriyawa, Vellampitiya, Gothatuwa, Grand Pass and Dematagoda. Several drug prevention programs have been organised at the Government Institutes island-wide in line with the National Drug Prevention Week. Another program organised by Sinhala and Tamil students in Bogavanthalava area was held at the Kenyadapandi Kovil premises. A drug prevention program was held at the Sabaragamuwa province under the patronage of Governor Dhamma Disanayaka. Attadasi Vidyalaya of Kottagoda Gaul has also organised a tree planting program in line with the National Drug Prevention Week. 100 balloons were released in Vaunia to mark the drug preventive initiative. An awareness campaign was held at the Central Provincial Council premises on drug menace. The Treasury has allocated 100 million rupees for the trust fund that has been set up to ensure welfare of 33 children who were victimized by the Easter Sunday terror attack. The government aims to raise the fund to 300 million rupees with donations from external parties. The Ministry of Health has mooted a project to send injured people who need further medication in foreign countries. The government has taken steps to provide 1 million rupee compensation for each deceased person, 500 rupee compensation for each injured individual. The damaged property will also be compensated. 185 million rupees has already been paid for 189 deceased people and 53 million rupees for 403 injured people so far. The rehabilitation project of churches that were devastated by the bomb attacks are being done by security forces with financial support from the government. Compensations are being paid to victims of post-Easter Sunday communal riots as well. Further information pertaining to compensation can be obtained from the Office of Reparations. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation has decided to recruit retired railway employees to the railway service again. The measure has been taken as the first step of making the railway service an essential venture. The ministry announces that accordingly, train drivers, station masters, signal inspectors, etc. will be recruited from retired employees. The recruitment ceremony will be held at the Shalika Hall, Narayanpeta on Friday. The initiative has been implemented under the directives of Minister Arjun Ranatunga and State Minister Ashok Abesingha. Around 40 fishing boats that had been anchored at the Kalamatia Fisheries Harbour in Tangol have been gutted in fire. The fishermen say the fire had broken out last night. They had taken measures to inform the Hungama police about the fire at around midnight yesterday. The Hungama police around the fire brigade of the Tangol Urban Council and residents of the area took measures to douse the fire. 10 more boats in addition to the completely destroyed 40 boats have been partially damaged due to the disaster. Notices have been issued to Chairman of the Wennapur Pradeshya Sabha Susantha Pereira and 5 other respondents by the Maravilla Magistrates Court. The respondents have been notified to testify about issuing a letter banning the Muslim community from trading at the weekly fair of Dankotua. The chairman of the Pradeshya Sabha in his letter has noted that the Sinhala community has staged a big protest against the Muslim traders who engage in their activities at the Dankotua weekly fair. Accordingly, the chairman of the Pradeshya Sabha has issued the letter barring the Muslim traders entering the weekly fair temporarily. The Dankotua police station has reported about the incident to the Maravilla Magistrates Court. The respondents have been notified to be present at the court day after tomorrow. One of the pioneering intellectuals in communication studies in Sri Lanka, Professor Vimal Dissanayake, has donated his private library to the Mass Communication Department of the University of Kelaniya. The first Mass Communication Department was set up at the University of Kelaniya in 1973 under the leadership of Professor Vimal Dissanayake. He used to be the first head of the Mass Communication Department. Vimal Dissanayake, who had served as a professor at the University of Hawaii in the United States for a long time, has decided to donate his library during his retirement age. The library has been brought to Sri Lanka from the USA by a Navy ship, free of charge. Professor Vimal Dissanayake donated the library to the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Kelaniya, Professor D.M. Semasingha. Navy Commander Vice Admiral P.L. De Silva was also present at the event. Addressing the event, Professor Vimal Dissanayake said that he was a vigorous reader from his tender age. He pointed out that he donated around 2,000 books to the university for the benefit of students and the staff. The professor highlighted that his collection not only serves for communication studies, but also for other modern disciplines, including philosophy, cultural studies, feminism, and linguistics. The Sri Lanka delegation to the Human Rights Council briefed the Council today on progress made in Sri Lanka in addressing human rights concerns, national security imperatives and reconciliation priorities. Sri Lanka's intervention under Agenda Item 2 of the Council followed the oral update provided by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, at the opening at the 41st session of the Human Rights Council, where reference was made to Sri Lanka. Clarifying the latest situation in the country following the Easter Sunday terrorist attacks and its aftermath, Sri Lanka stated that it has made significant progress in assuring the security of all Sri Lankans and upholding law and order through the implementation of relevant laws and legal processes, among other important measures. Sri Lanka further asserted that the national institutions in Sri Lanka continue to make interventions on issues pertaining to violence and extremism, as the government pursued effective measures that have led to the dismantling of terrorist networks in the country. The Sri Lankan delegation said that in keeping with its policy of constructive dialogue and cooperation, the government will continue to engage with the UN human rights system and Sri Lanka's international partners to advance its national responsibility of assuring respect for dignity and equality and safety and security of all Sri Lankans. The number of army personnel killed in the road accident that took place in Kilinochchi has increased to 6. The Colombo-bound Yaldevi train had collided with the army truck at the Bharatipuram area in Kilinochchi yesterday afternoon. The army soldiers were travelling to army medical camp at Bharatipuram from Kilinochchi. Meanwhile, 189 cigarette cartons have been seized at the Katunayaka International Airport. A Sri Lankan who had arrived from Dubai was taken into custody with foreign cigarette cartons early hours of today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says the current government has taken a wide range of measures to protect Buddhist monks of the country, similar to ancient kings who protected the Buddha Sasana.
භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලාගේ සෞඛ්‍ය රක්ෂණය සඳහා ක්‍රියාත්මක බුදුපුත් සුරක්ෂා.
The Premier was speaking at the launch of the Buddhapud Suraksha insurance scheme that is dedicated for Mahasangha in the country. The insurance scheme was launched under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at Temple Trees. The project has been initiated by the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Vimba Development and the Department of Buddhist Affairs. The Buddhapud Suraksha insurance scheme is dedicated to the Buddhist monks who do not receive a salary from a service. The Buddhapud Maupia Suraksha scheme will cover parents of Buddhist monks. Another scheme, Bodhuarana Suraksha, has been launched to insure Buddhist temples and sacred places. When a Buddhist monk is hospitalized, 3,000 rupees per day will be paid under the insurance scheme. 2,000 Buddhist clergy were awarded the insurance police today. The initiative will be implemented island-wide. And now it's time for your Biz News update. The central bank said that Sri Lanka's 2 sovereign bond issues of $2 billion issued yesterday were oversubscribed by more than 3 times to a total of $6.2 billion, clearly reflecting the continued global investor confidence in Sri Lanka. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka, June 24th, returning to the US dollar bond markets on behalf of the government, successfully priced a new issuance of $500 million 5-year and $1.5 billion long 10-year senior unsecured fixed-rate bonds with maturity dates of June 28, 2024 and March 28, 2030, respectively. According to the central bank, this represents Sri Lanka's 14th US dollar benchmark offering in the international bond markets since 2007 and its second transaction this year. And that's all we have for you today. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time. Till then, you can visit itanews.lk to be updated with the very latest. I'm Ishara Nawatunna. Stay safe, stay blessed, and good night.